There we go. All right, so welcome to the 4-step framework to becoming the pregnancy chiropractor in your town. My name is Dr. Karen Gardner, and I'm so happy to have you here. I plan on giving you some really great information today, and if you have any questions at all during our time together, please just put them in the window, the chat window, and I'll get to them, I promise. So I just want to let you know that you're in the right place. If you have a pregnancy-focused chiropractic practice, or you want to start one, some of you on today's call may not even have one yet, but you know you want to. If you do have these things, or you want to have these things, but you might be struggling with getting consistent and sustainable results and patients, and therefore income. So I want to help you get past that today. You're also in the right place if you feel like your pregnancy practice has incredible potential, but you just don't know what to do with that or how to tap into that potential. If you want to have a set it and forget it system in place so your practice generates a steady stream of income, new patients, and lasting relationships, you're also in the right place. And if you want to learn how to be the pregnancy chiropractor in your town, not just another one, welcome to the right place. So I'm glad to have you here. My promise to you is that I will deliver as much valuable information as I possibly can in this 60 minutes that we have together. And nothing that I'm about to share with you is based on theory. Everything that you'll learn today has been tested and proven to work by me and the dozens of chiropractors that I have taught how to do what I am about to teach you. So there's no sales pitch, I promise. I'm not selling anything on this webinar. I'm just giving you information. Gabish? All right. Sorry, my voice cracked. I'm telling you, I don't know if my voice is going to hold out. In return, I ask that you keep an open mind. You're going to learn some new information. You may hear some things that you don't necessarily agree with, or that you have heard before and you don't know what to do with that. Just keep an open mind, okay? Also, I encourage you to take plenty of notes so you can begin to implement what you're about to learn. And please ask questions if you have them. Close the tabs on your computer and any extra apps you may have open so that you have the right bandwidth. Get in a quiet room and get ready to make a change for yourself and get some focused learning. So today I'm going to teach you the 3 biggest mistakes to avoid in your practice. And these are mistakes that we all make, myself included. And I want to bring them to light for you so that you don't make those mistakes, that you learn from other people's mistakes. That's the best way to learn, I think. And then I'm also going to give you my 4-step framework for becoming the pregnancy chiropractor in your town. And when you become that chiropractor, you will create a profitable pregnancy practice. That's just a side effect of being the #1 dude or dudette in your town. And if you stay to the very end of today's webinar, I'm going to give you a gift. It is 2 gifts, actually. My consultation script that is a PDF form that is fillable. Both of these are PDF fillable forms. So you can leave it on your computer and fill it out on your computer, or you can print it out and use a pen to fill it out. But very often, especially when I was early in practice, I would forget to ask a certain question, or like, oh crap, I didn't find this out, or I didn't learn about this. This consultation script helps you to not forget anything. So I'm going to give that to you. And also the new patient checklist, which is really helpful for the chiropractor and the front desk. Some of you are both, like me. So it helps you to not forget anything and make sure nothing gets forgotten. And again, that's PDF fillable, and you get that when you stay to the end as well. So the question I always ask is, who loves music? Who likes to hear music and play music and be around music? I think almost all of us can say, I do. So what if, because of your love for music, you were given an opportunity to earn $100,000 every single year for the rest of your life, and all you had to do was learn how to play one song in 1 week with no mistakes on the piano? Imagine this song, the Pachelbel. You had to learn this. This is just a little snippet of the unbelievable score. What if you had to learn this? And let's say you don't know what a treble clef is or a bass clef, and what's 4/4 time, and what's a flat, what's a sharp, you don't know anything. Would you take that chance to earn $100,000 every year for the rest of your life? I know I would. But how would I do it? And how would you do it? Would you get a headache over it and like, oh my gosh, I don't know what this note is. What's the difference between bass clef and treble clef? I don't know. I don't know how to keep time. What are the notes on the piano? Why are there black keys? Why are there white keys? Like, would you like stay up all night? Or would you hire a professional to give you the fastest way to get to your end result? That's what I would do. I wouldn't care so much about theory and all of that stuff. If I needed a result and I needed a result immediately, I would pay to get help to get there and then go back and learn along the way so that I can maintain these results and maybe learn another song another time. That's what I would do. What would you do? Think about that. I don't need an answer. Just think about it. Well, I kind of did that with my pregnancy practice. I built a pregnancy practice from scratch. I say twice here, but now that I think about it, I actually started it in chiropractic school. I had a pregnancy practice in chiropractic school. Then I graduated and got married and moved to Miami and built a pregnancy practice down there. Moved from Miami up to Pennsylvania. Oh, this is 4 times. Built a pregnancy practice there. And then 8 years ago, I built another pregnancy practice. So the 4th time was much easier, but really, the 2nd and 3rd time were easier too because I already knew what to do and what not to do. But this 2nd time that I built a real sustainable pregnancy practice is the one that I'm going to share with you now. And that was a lot easier because I did a lot of different things. It wasn't just one thing that made the biggest impact. I didn't send a gift basket at Thanksgiving to the midwives and OBGYNs in my town and got a big return on that. That was just one of many things that I did. And that's the key. You can't just do one thing and expect it to be the thing. It's doing a lot of little things over and over and over and over that matter the most. It's practice, 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 repetition, repetition, repetition. And that will build your practice. That will build your reputation in your community. And that will give you the technical and the clinical skills to be perfect or near perfect as much as possible so that you get really good results in your practice too, right? So what did I do? How did I build it the 2nd time? I used my 16 plus years of doing this and doing that, and I built my thriving pregnancy practice in only 4 months. And the reason it only took 4 months is because I already did it all the wrong way before. The trial and error was done for me. I knew that I shouldn't do this because that doesn't work, but I'm going to do this because this does work. So in 4 months, I built a 2nd thriving pregnancy practice because I was getting a divorce. I filed for divorce in January of 2011, actually in December of 2010. And in January 2011, I had a choice to make, and it was tough. I could keep my practice because I built it with my ex-husband. This was part of our marital property. So I could either keep my house or my practice. I could keep the practice and be financially set. I wouldn't have to worry because it was a thriving practice. But I would have to move out of my home, out of my children's home, and move them into a new home and maybe even a new school. Or I could walk away from my practice and build another one from scratch so I could keep my kids in their home, in their school with their friends and just start all over business-wise. These are my kids. This is where we were in 2010. We were having fun, leisure time and family trips, a thriving practice, disposable income. This was our life because of that thriving pregnancy practice. And did I want to throw that all away? So I actually threw that all away. In January 2011, I closed the door on my office, handed over the keys, and I had my SOT blocks, my activator, and my portable Thule table. And that was it. I didn't even have a pencil. I didn't have a file. I didn't have any handouts or exam forms, nothing. I got nothing. My friends and my family thought I was a lunatic. They begged me not to give up my practice. Please stay in your practice, support your family. You could live with us. I won't charge you rent, blah, blah, blah. But my kids, man, they begged me to stay in our house. So I picked my kids. And the reason I did that was because I'm doing this for them. And I don't care if they are the only ones who believe I can do it. That's all I needed. So in January 2011, January 3rd to be exact, I walked away from my 16 plus years successful practice. 1 week to the day later, I wasted no time. I'm an Aries. I go after everything immediately when I want it. So on January 10th, 1 week later, I opened my second practice from scratch in a birthing center. And let me tell you about this practice. For those of you who are debating on opening up your own practice, if you wonder about build out and overhead and all that stuff, let me tell you something. I was in an exam room in a birthing center, and there was a giant exam table, a GYN table with the stirrups and everything in the middle of the room. This table weighed about 300 pounds. I had to move that table out of the way every day and put my Thule table, my portable table, in the middle of the room with my SOT blocks and my activator from the previous slide I shared. And then I set up a laptop computer next to the sink and the latex gloves. And that's what I did. I didn't have educational material on the walls. I didn't have a kid's playroom. I didn't have poster, nothing. There was nothing. It was an OB, or it was a midwife exam room. That's where I built my practice. And in 4 months, I did a kick butt job. Let me show you. So in February, after the dust settled a little bit of doing what I was doing, I realized that if I really need to hustle, because I have to show the bank that I can make enough money to actually afford my house. And I had to get my ex-husband off of the mortgage. And that's not just something you ask the bank to do. You have to qualify for the mortgage so that you don't need that other person's signature on there. We qualified for the loan together, but I had to show that I could qualify for it by myself. And I didn't have a job until January 3rd or January 10th. So in February, I thought I better hunker down and put everything together. So I went to my computer and looked at all of the forms and all of the things that I had put together over the years. So I reorganized them. I knew what worked, I knew what didn't, and I just redid everything. And I started doing it all over again. In May, 4 months after I opened my practice, I was able to show enough income to qualify for a mortgage and keep my kids in their house. And by December 30th, I signed the papers with the bank. I had to wait until the divorce was final and all that kind of stuff. So there's a little bit of an extra gap in the timeline because the divorce wasn't final yet, and I couldn't kick him off of the mortgage until the divorce was final. So I had to wait for the final decree to be filed with the state and blah, 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 blah. So in 4 months, I was able to qualify. In 12 months, I was free and clear. I bought the house. And then January the following year, I opened a second office in my home because I was seeing too many people in the birth center and I needed a satellite office. I only had so many days I was allowed to be in the birth center because of their own schedule. And then by January of 2015, I was actually asked to leave the birth center because I was way too busy. I was taking up too much of their space and they needed it to grow their business. And it was very amicable. The midwife and I are still very close friends today. But she's like, Karen, you got to go. You're doing fine. I'm happy that you've built your practice and you're thriving and you're growing, but I want you to do that in another place so that I can build and grow my practice. So that's what happened in 2015, and I've been in my home office ever since then. And all of this had started because I had all this experience in pregnancy care, and I had all the systems that I used at my disposal. I was able to put these systems back into play again and start all over again very easily. In 4 months, I was able to do that. This helped me grow my pregnancy practice with very little effort. And it gave me direction and where I wanted to go with my practice, right? So you can have a dream, but if you don't have a direction to get there, what's the use? So it was really important that I was able to put everything together so that I had direction and I knew exactly what I wanted to do and when I wanted to do it and how. It made it so much easier for me. So I'm not overworked. I'm not scrounging for patients because my systems and my experience, my clinical skill and all of that jazz, it helps me to generate enough income to support my family without hustling 24 hours a day. I don't have to do that. I can take off and be a mom. In fact, next week is Thanksgiving, right? Both of my kids are home from college, which, by the way, I'm paying for 100% based on my practice. I'm able to pay for my kids' school 100%. And I'm so thankful to be able to do that. But next week, they're both home from college. I'm not working next week because I want to spend time with my kids. I am allowed to take time off and be a mom too. I found that balance and it's wonderful. So before I get into teaching you how to do all that, let's outline what some of the mistakes are that people might be doing without even realizing it. Sometimes I get on coaching calls and doctors are telling me that they're doing a spinal screening and they're going to, hopefully get 10 new patients. I'm like, great. So how many new patient appointments do you have available? Well, 3. Okay, well, how are you going to see 10 new patients? And what about your report of findings? Well, I don't know how to do a report of findings. Do you have a written care plan? No. Okay, so you're trying to build your practice, but it can't support the growth. So that's going to be a disaster. So don't do that. That's a big mistake. Learn how to support the growth first and then grow the practice. It's not a build it and they will come kind of thing. You need to actually have the steps in place so that when they do come, you can handle it and people don't fall through the cracks. All right? Your operations and your procedures should be building your practice for you. If it's part of your procedure to ask for a referral, then you'll never forget and you'll continue to build your practice through referrals. Does that make sense? If you have a testimonial visit, if you have, a well baby checkup, postpartum care, if your postpartum care is part of your prenatal care, then your practice is going to continue to thrive. Make sense? Stop thinking, if you are thinking that practice building is hard, it really isn't. It's only hard when you're not sure what to do, because then you're getting advice from 12 different angles and you just don't know what to do, and a confused mind says no, so you just say, no, I'm not doing it, and you just keep doing what you're doing. If you have the right procedures and systems in place, it's actually quite easy. So mistake number 2, if you spend more than 30 minutes a day building your practice, you're doing something wrong. And what I mean is, when you build your practice outside of your practice, so if you're doing spinal screenings and healthcare classes and workshops and whatever, Facebook Lives and doing all this stuff, hours and hours and hours every week, you are building your practice possibly, but you're not building your practice in a sustainable way because you're going to get burned out, aren't you? Facebook Lives are wonderful. Spinal screenings are fantastic. Outside talks, stellar. But you can't consistently do that day in and day out and not eventually burn out. That's my point. So if you have systems and procedures in place that build your practice internally, you don't have to spend more than 30 minutes a day building your practice. It's part of the deal. Something's wrong if you're doing that, and there's a better way, and I want to show you how to do that. So you may have to change your procedures. You may have to change all of your procedures, and that's okay. If you change your procedures and you hone in on your technique, these will help you get better clinical results, right? So if you're not really sure what to do with a baby that is breech and a mom has a bicornuate uterus, but that comes into your practice and you're able to actually help that mom, news is going to spread quickly. And the reason I use that example is because that happens to me. I get these weirdo cases where the mom has a bicornuate uterus. She's an Israeli army paratrooper and a rabbi, and she has a breech baby. And like I said, her uterus is bicornuate. Like, great, thanks. Thanks for the challenge. Guess what? Baby turned head down. She had a birth center birth, and she continued care postpartum to fix all of the trauma that she received from jumping out of airplanes when she was in the Israeli military. So that could happen to you. And guess what? The OBGYNs in the town heard about this, and they started talking to me like, what did you do? Like, bicornuate uterus, really? It was really cool. So if you have the right techniques and procedures, you're going to get new ideal patients every day if you want them. The new potential patients will be added to your email list every day if you do the right procedures to gather them. If you don't ask for an email, then you're not going to get an email. So make it part of your procedures. If you have a procedure like an autoresponder, for instance, that gets scheduled and shared daily to your practice, you can make this happen on Facebook. Well, a lot of you in the 5-day challenge noticed that I was very active in the 5-day challenge group, right? Well, I did post everything there personally because I wanted to be super, super involved with all of you and have my hand on the pulse of the group. However, in my pregnancy chiropractic group, I'm not posting everything every single day. It's automatic. I respond personally every single day. I go in there and answer questions and comment and things like that. That's my personal touch, but many of those posts are automatic. Imagine if you could free up your day and not post every single day on Facebook. But your posts are engaging and you get more patients because of that. That's what having the right procedures will get you. You can get new referrals to your practice every day too, if that's part of your procedure. And if you get the technical results, the clinical results in your office, people are going to hear about that and send more people to you as well. And by all means, stop giving away your care. So many of the new doctors, especially that I speak to, say, well, if I can just get another discount or a freebie or give somebody another promotional item, then I'll get more new patients. And that's not really true. You might get more people in your office, but to convert them to a patient and wellness care doesn't work. And you know what I mean if you've done this, because these people come in because they want that water bottle or they want that a gift certificate for movies or whatever it is that you're giving away or whatever. They are going to come in because they want the freebie, not your care. They're not your ideal patient. So stop doing that, please. When you do those things, it's overwhelming for your patients because they don't need more stuff. And it's overwhelming for you because it takes a lot of energy to process a new patient, especially if they're not going to follow through with your recommendations for care. So that's not good. And I also think it's unprofessional. And when I gave the webinar earlier this morning, I said the same thing. There's a chiropractor in my town that advertises in the Clipper magazine. And I just want to reach through the magazine and smack him because he gives away a consultation and exam, a full set of x-rays, and a full week of chiropractic care. And I think he even adds a massage in there for $35. Like, why? Why are you doing that? It cheapens our profession. And to me, it looks desperate. I think that I would never go to somebody because I get all that for $35. I think in my head, like, well, what's wrong with this guy? Why can't he just charge full price? You want to be the pregnancy chiropractor in your town? Then you need to start thinking like a specialist because that's what you will be. And I guarantee you that you will never, ever, ever see a specialist in the medical profession advertising a cheapo thing like that in a Clipper magazine or the money mailers. Hey, I'm your cardiologist. Come on in for a cardiac catheterization and an EKG for only $20. Why would you do that? It doesn't work that way. So don't make yourself less than a specialist. If you want to be the doctor in your town, then you better act like the doctor in your town. Make sense? Good. Your patients don't need a million ice packs, water bottles, business cards, calendars, or a bent pencil. They don't care about that. They're coming to you because they have a problem and they want you to fix their problem. You are the solution to their problem. Always remember that a patient has a problem and you are the solution. Giving them a water bottle will not help them with neuralgia paresthetica. Have a solution. They want to be told what they need to do. They want to be heard and they want to be directed. 3, assuming that your practice will just happen on its own. Well, I'm on this insurance list, so I should be getting patients from that. Or I'm certified in this technique, or I took that class, so patients are going to know that that's awesome and they're just going to call me. If I can just get more new patients, then I'll make some money. Well, no, you can get more new patients, but you may not be profitable, because if they don't follow through with your care plan, you're not going to make money. If they don't refer patients to you, if you don't build your practice as a result of every new patient that comes in, you're just going to have to always have new patients. And you may not make any money. You may just be breaking even. So there's a fine line that you have to have. You have to have new patients and you have to have consistent, regular patients. That's where the growth happens. You need a profitable framework in place if you want to start making money. You can't just have new patients come in and then they fall off the track and they don't continue with maintenance care, wellness care. You're not going to be profitable. You might break even. You might make a little money, but it won't be sustainable, because you and I both know that new patient processing is exhausting, right? It takes a lot of energy and a lot of different energy to work with a new patient than it does with an existing patient. So it's not sustainable. In less than 1 year, my first year in practice, when I built the second practice after the divorce, I netted more than $60,000 after I paid taxes and all of my other expenses were paid, which were very minimal, by the way, because I kept a low overhead. I made more than $60,000 profit. I didn't do physical therapy. The only nutritional products I had were a couple of different homeopathic remedies that I recommend for patients in between their visits to help them stay comfortable. If they're traveling like an hour and a half to come see me, like some patients did, they need something to get them through to their next visit. They can't necessarily come in 3 times a week. So I gave them some homeopathic remedies to help keep them comfortable. Or I also, there are some homeopathic remedies that are really helpful for stubborn breech presentations. So that's it. But honestly, they're like $12. It's not like a lot of money. And I also had pregnancy support bands where I made $8 profit per band. So I wasn't making my money on that. I was making my money on adjusting patients. And the reason I did all this, the reason that I made that much of a profit in the first year, was because I had the right procedures and it was easy to do. I wasn't bogged down in the details. I wasn't drowning in the details. I got hundreds, literally hundreds of referrals from midwives, OBGYNs, family doctors, childbirth educators, chiropractors, lactation consultants. Yeah, you heard me. I did get referrals from other chiropractors. There are chiropractors in this world, believe it or not, who do not want to adjust pregnant women. Find them and get them to refer their pregnant patients to you. And then send those patients back to the other doctor after you've dismissed them from their postpartum care plan. Easy to do. So in less than 1 year, without being on any insurance list, without advertising in any local printed articles or mailers, no Facebook ads, no special giveaways or deals, just me and my technique, my systems that I used, and my experience, I was able to do all of that. And I still don't advertise. You will not find one ad on any medium with me advertising my practice at all. It's all word of mouth. So it can be done, and I would love to help you do that. If you're thinking, I could not do that, Dr. Karen, especially less than 1 year, well, why not? I did it. Other doctors who have followed my procedures, they've done it too. So if it can be done, it can be repeated, and it could be you. Many of my own coaching clients and members of the Premier Pregnancy Practice are getting the same results that I did. It works, and it's repeatable, and it's sustainable. And a lot of doctors that I'm coaching right now are doing better in practice than I am. And that's okay, because I am semi-retired in practice. I'm not seeing patients. I only see patients 2 days a week. So I hope they're doing better than that. But it's definitely doable. You can do it, and I would love to show you how. Let's look at a little more into how you can do it. So these are some doctors who are in some of my programs, and I just wanted to tell you that there really are people out there who are doing this work and who love it and who are doing a good job and are making a difference in their communities. I'll let you read that a little bit as I take a drink of water, and then I'll move to the next slide. All right, I'm going to move on. I'm sorry if you haven't finished it, but suffice it to say, there's real people out there doing what I'm doing and able to reproduce my results as well. I just wanted to put that out there. Oh, this should be Dr. Jennifer G, not Dr. Jennifer S. After working with me for only a month, Dr. Jennifer didn't meet her income goal. She fell $700 short of her income goal, which is a really big deal. That it was just that little bit short. It wasn't that much. So it was a big improvement for her. And she raised her goal when she started coaching with me, and she almost met that. But she exceeded her new patient goal and her office visit goal for that month. So 2 of her 3 goals were blown out of the water. So because of this, I have to look at now, we're going to look at her expenses and her overhead. Because if she's meeting and exceeding her new patient and her office visit goals, she should be making more money. So we're going to look at that. And she says the content is great in the program. The one-on-one calls are helpful in helping me stay focused. So we're going to work together to not only blow her income goals out of the water, but all of the other goals. She needs to be more profitable. So we're going to do that. Dr. Natalie did not have experience with caring for pregnant patients, but she wanted to, so she asked for help, which is what strong people do. I was so proud of her to ask. And she got 3 new pregnant patients in her 2nd week of working with me, and we're working together one-on-one. I actually attend her adjustments via phone call or video chat, actually, through Zoom. And I'm there with her while she's in Canada and I'm in Pennsylvania. And I'm with her while she's adjusting her patients. So if she has a question, she can ask me right there live in the moment. It's really cool. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love it. It's really, really cool. Whoops. So if you don't have a strategy in place to attain these goals, you're not going to make any money. So let's talk about your strategy. The 4-step framework I'm going to show you is going to help you build your premier pregnancy practice. You have to attract people to your office. You have to optimize everything. You have to then convert that to growth and then convert those conversions to long-term results and replicable and repeatable. I just said the same thing twice. Whatever. So you have to convert all of that to being sustainable. So let's break these down individually. So who do you want to attract? Be specific, because without this, you're not ready to make any money. I want more new patients. Great. Who do you want? Who? Not more. Who? That's the answer. Let's look at that. Who is your ideal practice? Well, or patient. If you want a premier pregnancy practice, then that's who you want to attract, pregnant women, period. So where do you go? What do you do? Well, you find out, you answer these questions. What do they struggle with? Remember I said to you, you have to have a solution to their problem. If they have a problem, you have to have the solution. So what do they struggle with? Well, maybe they're having low back pain or sciatica, or maybe their baby is breech. You have the solution to that, right? What do they care about? Well, they care about having a natural childbirth, or maybe a VBAC, or maybe not having an intervention of any kind. That's what they care about. What do they hope for? They don't want a C-section. So how can you offer solutions to this? What do they worry about? Where do they go? You know, that's where you're going to find your ideal patient. And keep in mind, it's okay to repel some people. Stay focused on your ideal patient. I know in the beginning, especially, you want to accept every new patient you can because you just need to pay your bills. I totally get that. But understand, if you keep accepting people who are not ideal to your practice and they start zapping energy from you, they start being that pain in the butt patient, and oh my gosh, this patient drives me nuts, blah, 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 and you're focusing energy on that pain in the butt patient, you're going to attract more pain in the butt patients because you're putting your energy towards that kind of patient. So instead, put your energy towards the ideal people, okay? It's a hard concept, but once you get it and once you see it in action, the law of attraction, it really does work. So trust me on that, please. If you're doing things and you're developing a niche, but it's not growing, it's sometimes because you don't have a focus. You have to focus on that. And that happens naturally when you have the right systems in place. If you know that your systems are boom, 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 1, 2, 3, I know this is going to work. This new patient is coming in and we're going to do this on the first day, this on the second day, that on the third day. You don't have to worry about anything. Your focus can then be on getting that patient well and performing your procedures. You're laser focused instead of scattered, and that's what you need for growth. You need to optimize your practice. Every single nuance in your practice needs to be optimized. What does that mean? Well, your new patients got to be optimized. Do they pay in advance for their visit? What kind of communication do you have with them beforehand? Do you accept insurance? Are they covered? Blah, 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 that kind of stuff. What about new patients? Potential new patients, rather. What do you do with them? How do you get them? Who are your referral sources? Current patients, what does your care plan look like? What do you do? Progress exams? How often? When do you ask for a testimonial? Who are your referral sources? How do they know if you're accepting new patients? How do you get them to refer to you? What is your technique? Do you know any special techniques significant to pregnancy care? If not, get learning. What is your clinical experience? How many years have you been doing this? How many pregnant people have you seen? And if it's not many, then you can do things to optimize your clinical experience and your technique. You can do that. If you don't have any of these systems in place, they're not optimal in your practice, you can change that. And I'd love to help you. And don't treat your practice like a dumping ground either. Like, don't just get a whole bunch of people in and then do nothing with them. These people that are coming in because they feel you have a solution want a clear path to follow, and they deserve that. And if your systems and procedures are in place to direct them accordingly through their care plan, then you will be optimizing that, and you will be giving your patients what they need and what they want. And your skill will be known by other professionals because you're getting people well. So I want to show you how to grow your practice and promote your practice in the right way so that you're known as the pregnancy chiropractor in your town, not just another one. First, let's talk about what not to do. Do not accept every single potential new patient. Not every single person is your ideal patient. They just aren't. Don't do things that are salesy and cheap, giving away the stuff that we talked about earlier. That's not really a good thing to do if you want to be known as the pregnancy chiropractor. If you just want to be one of many, then go ahead and do those things. And don't get in over your head. If you want to see pregnant patients, but you don't have the technical skill, don't start saying you know how to take care of pregnant patients when you don't, because that's not going to help you. get those skills under your belt so that you can confidently care for the special needs of pregnant and postpartum patients. Your pregnancy practice needs regular patients and new patients to be sustainable and profitable. Okay? If you want to grow, you got to have new patients as well as regular patients. If you're happy where you are, then you don't need any new patients. You just keep a wellness practice. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not accepting new patients. I'm just too busy, and I don't have any space in my time, in my day, especially since I'm doing a ton of one-on-one coaching. I've cut back on my hours so that I can help more chiropractors. And I don't accept new patients because I don't want to grow. I don't want to be busier. But if you want to grow and you want to be busier, you have to have new patients, and you have to have a regular steady stream of non-new patients so that you can continue the sustainable growth, if that makes sense. You can grow your practice easily without much effort if you do a couple of things. You have to have the right systems in place. You have to have these systems working for you so you don't even think about it. If you have a place to go that you already know, well, you know what, it's the third visit and this happens on the third visit. So duh, easy. If that's part of your procedures and your systems, then you don't have to worry. And if you're the pregnancy chiropractor in your town, people are going to start sending patients to you. And if you have the right systems, you're going to be super efficient so you can handle the growth. If you have the right procedures, you're going to continue to grow. And if you have the right technique and clinical experience, people are going to send patients to you because you're getting results. So to convert patients to sign on a care plan with your office, you have to give them value and sell second. So if you tell a patient, like, this is how much it's going to cost and blah, blah, blah. Well, I stopped listening once I heard the number. But if you say, I'm going to help restore your health so that you, with your sciatica, it's going to go away, and then you can sit on the floor with your toddler and color in the coloring book. And then in your head, you're thinking, how much is that worth to you, right? They'll buy whatever it is you sell them because they want it, because that you've given them value. So that's super important to do if you want to convert a potential new patient into a new patient. I can't stress that enough. Your pregnancy practice is not a charity, so stop treating it like one. If you want to be a charity, then go ahead and file the paperwork and become a charity, a nonprofit. But it's not a charity if you're trying to pay your bills. So stop giving away stuff and start treating it like a business. Track your goals, track your new patients, your referrals, your results, your reactivations, your profit. Convert your new patients and your referrals into wellness care patients. Repeat what works. Reactivate people who fell through the cracks and keep them from falling through the cracks, and continue to make your profit. That's all you have to do, and it's not that hard. Don't assume that people know who you are and what you do, that people know how to refer to you and why. Don't assume that people know you're accepting new patients. Don't assume that people know you have experience. Don't assume any of that. You have to tell them. Trust me, they're not going to know. For those of you who have kids and you're at the dinner table and everybody gets up from the dinner table, everybody knows somebody's got to clear the table. But don't you have to tell somebody to clear the table? Yeah, you do. Especially if younger kids. Hey, put your dish in the dishwasher, right? You have to tell them. They don't do it unless you tell them. It's the same thing with patients. So who are you? What do you do? You're a specialist. You're a prenatal chiropractor. You care for moms-to-be and postpartum moms and their infants and their families. That's who you are. That's who you need to promote in your neighborhood. Are you accepting new patients? How do people refer to you? Teach your patients how to refer to you, teach your staff how to ask for referrals, and teach other professionals how and when to refer to you. And then you don't have to worry about your business growing. It's going to build itself because other people are going to be sending patients to you. If you want to be the chiropractor, the pregnancy chiropractor in your town, again, you need to have the clinical technique, the systems, and the procedures to get sustainable results. And I say sustainable all the time because you can go out there and bust a hump and go to a spinal screening or a healthcare class or something, and you're out there and you're talking all day long and you get 5 new patients. And do you want to do that every day? I don't. So sustainable results, that's the key. So when I teach people, when people ask me for help, this is what they get. I teach them the clinical expertise and the techniques. I teach them how to ask for things without being salesy and cheesy, and how to train your team to do the same thing. When people should refer to you and why, how to keep your current patients motivated, how to get moms back in after they delivered a baby, how to get and use testimonials to build your niche, how to create easy to follow care plans, how to stay engaged, and how to be the pregnancy chiropractor in your town. Here's another doc who is just sharing a little love, saying what she likes about my program, and what she really loved was the fact that she didn't have to leave. Everything was online. This is another doctor from Canada. She didn't have to leave to take a course. She could do it all online. And when she took this course 10 years ago, she had little ones. So this was really important to her to not have to leave home. Remember, new patients don't just show up. You have to do the work. The only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. You have to work to be successful. And each doctor that has used my program, they've made money, and they've implemented this system, and they've done it over and over and over and over again. Again, it's the repetition. They got sustainable results. They were able to decrease the learning curve because they didn't have to make the same mistakes I did, right? And they increased their confidence and skill. So when you can do that in your own practice, you're going to get the same results too. So this is Dr. Eileen, and she has a lot of purpose-driven, goal-oriented tools that she could use to keep her practice sustainably growing. And she's got now long-lasting wellness patients that she didn't have before. And that's nice, because that's regular income. Growth happens with new patients. Regular income happens with wellness patients. Dr. Katie was just commenting on the second module that she took in the Premier Pregnancy Practice. She loves it, and she could listen all day long. So I'm glad to hear that. But she says listen all day long because not only do you get the course itself, but you get an MP3 that you can download and listen in the car on your way to work or something like that. So that's what she was doing. So to recap everything, don't try to build your practice before you perfect your systems. It's going to be a disaster. It's not going to work well. Your practice will build itself once you have the right systems and procedures in place. Number 2, don't spend more than 30 minutes a day trying to build your practice on a regular basis. Anything more than that is a waste of time. You're just spending time doing things. You're not doing things that are actually working. And don't assume patients will show up without a plan. Get your systems and procedures in place and own your technique. Don't waver. Know what you know and know it well. So the 4-step framework, again, you need to, I messed up. You need to attract, optimize, grow, and convert, right? You need to do all that so that you have sustainable results. Again, sustainability is so important. This framework that I just taught you, it's not theory. It's proven to work by me and all the other doctors that you saw comment, and a lot more doctors who haven't commented. It does work, and I would love for you to start doing it. Use it in your practices. Another doctor made $50,000 her first year because she started doing things with a sustainable system. It's great. So if you only take one thing away today, I want you to know that you can be the pregnancy chiropractor in your town, and you can build and grow your pregnancy practice without hustle, and all you need are the right systems and procedures in place. So if you don't already have them in place, start putting them together and do it. Another doctor just saying hi, sharing some love. So I've developed this 4-step framework for you to make it easy and to create your very own practice. And I've outlined all of that for you today. It is an outline, but I think it gives you a good place to start. And you might be asking how you can apply this framework to your own practice so you can create your own premier pregnancy practice. And if that question is in your mind, I just want to ask you if you want my help. I'm happy to help you. If you want to know how to do this a little bit faster without reinventing the wheel, let me know. I would love to help you. So remember this, where you can waste tons of time trying to figure it all out yourself, or you can fast track your results and learn more. And the easiest way to do that without investing a single dime, remember, there's no sales pitch here. The easiest way to fast track your results is just schedule a phone call with me. The phone call is free. Today was free. Your bonuses in the next slide are free. I'm giving you a bunch of free content. If you want to learn more and how to fast track your results, just go to bit.ly/drkarencall and hop on the phone with me. Schedule a call on my calendar. What works with you? We'll spend 30 minutes together one-on-one talking about how to make you fast track your results to have your premier pregnancy practice. All right. And as promised, I'm going to give you the consultation script and the new patient checklist. So right now I'm going to stop sharing the screen. I think that's it, right? Yeah, I'm stopping the screen share, and I'm going to share my files with you. Thanks for staying to the end, everybody. That's awesome. And there's one. Whoops. And here is the second one. How cool is that we can do that? That's really neat. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and type something in the chat window. If you don't have questions, that's okay too. You can always reach me via email. If you're here because of the 5-day challenge, just a reminder that our 5-day challenge Facebook group will be closing soon. So all that excitement and all that interaction with one another and that camaraderie will not be happening in that group anymore. But please jump on my other group if you haven't already, my Pregnancy Chiropractic group. I'm just typing in the link there. You can just go to that link and it will take you to my Pregnancy Chiropractic Facebook group, and you can hop on board so you can stay in the loop and have the conversations that we've already had. We'll continue them. So anybody have any questions? Dr. Camille, would it be easier if I unmuted you? All right, I unmuted you. Go for it.
So how do we access the consultation scripts and the new patient checklist?
Are you on your phone?
I'm on an iPad.
Does the link not show up in the chat window?
It does.
So then just click on that and you should be able to download it.
That takes me to the Pregnancy Chiropractic Facebook page.
So you're not clicking the right link then. Scroll all the way up in the chat window and you'll see consultation form fillable and also new patient checklist fillable.
I'm not seeing it.
Really? That's
yeah,
cool.
I'm new to Zoom and an iPad though, so it might be
little bit of a learning curve. I'm not judging because I would be lost on an iPad myself. I'm not iPhone compatible at all. So yeah, you should be able to download that right, because I just shared a file. Let me do it again. Maybe okay. It just didn't. Okay, I just shared. Yeah, it's in there. Not happening?
No, I'm not finding it.
Okay, I can email it to you, Doc.
I would appreciate that.
Sure, no problem. Is anybody else having problems with that? No, just Dr. Camille. You're lucky. Oh, someone else is saying it too, so it's not just you. I wonder if it's an iPhone PC kind of situation. Although it's a PDF, it should be fine. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I'll email it to whoever tells me that they're not able to see it on the, you can see the chat window, right?
Yes.
How does that not show up? I don't understand. I sent it to everyone. Huh. All right. Well, I won't waste any more time. I'll go ahead and send that. If you're on today's call and you're not seeing the link for some reason, let me know and I'll email it to you. Hopefully I'll get it done today, but if not, it might be Monday. But I should be able to get it done today. All right. Anything else, anybody? No, we're good. All right, then I'm going to end the meeting and I will talk to everybody again soon, I hope. Don't forget, if you want more help than you got today with today's webinar, just schedule a call. I'm happy to talk to you. And have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'll see you somewhere soon, I hope. Bye.